Hi everyone. So I'm going to read a story that I've written called Billy the Blue Tit. It's a wintry story, so I've got my hat on and my scarf and my hand warmers. So let's get going. Billy loved his feathers. They were blue, grey and yellow with flecks of white and black on his head. His favourite were the bright yellow ones on his chest, which were still fluffy as he was a young blue tit. Billy lived with his family in a cosy bird box attached to a wonderful birch tree. Billy and his siblings loved to gather around the little window and watch their parents in flight, zooming across the garden, collecting tasty bugs for them to munch. Billy was so excited for his very first flight around the garden. He wanted to feel the wind on his wings. His parents had said last night that all of them would be ready for their first flight by the weekend. The next few days seemed to pass quite slowly for Billy, but one thing he did notice was that his feathers were changing. On he and his siblings, they were looking less fluffy and more sleek like their parents. This could only mean one thing. They were nearly ready to fly. The next morning, Billy was woken up by lots of shimmering light. He looked down from the bird box and saw that a blanket of snow had covered the whole garden, and the rising sun was reflecting lots of rays of light all around, causing everything to sparkle. The trees looked like they were covered in glitter. He felt a sudden urge to be able to swoop down into the snow. He carefully unfolded his wings and was delighted by the sleek, shiny blue feathers he saw. He hopped up to the roof of their bird box and spread his wings, flapped a few times, and then launched himself into the air. Whee! He did a somersault in the air, managed a few flaps, but then plop! He landed in the soft white snow. Chirpy chirp 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 chirp, he sang to the bright sunny morning, then jumped up, shook the snow off his feathers, and hopped over to a tree stump. He looked all around. It was beautiful, but he wanted to see it from above. So he flapped his wings, did a little hop, and he was up in the air. Oh, it felt good to be flying. All of Billy's chirping had woken up his family, who, when they saw the snow, also shared his delight and flew out to join him. Billy and his family put on quite the flying show. They swooped and dived in the air. Billy even perfected the technique of doing his somersault in the air and then swooping up so he didn't land in the snow. But he did really enjoy jumping in the bird bath that was just full of soft, fluffy snow. I think it was the only time he really liked being in the bath. But it was cold in the snow. I think I'll stick to flying, thought Billy, as he swooped up into the sky.